The Comanche Nation by me. The name Comanche comes from the Mexicans. It was actually the name that the Comanche used to call the Mexicans. It means enemy or foreigners. However, the Comanches call themselves Numanu, which means human being or the people. The Comanches were very good warriors, and they fought the white settlers in the army for many years until they gave up in 1875. The Comanches are one of the most historically important Indian cultures from Texas. The Comanche lived in the southern plains, which extended to the northern part of Texas. The Comanche tribe lived in tent-like homes called teepees. The teepee was made from long wooden poles that were covered with weatherproof animal skins, such as buffalo hides. The tent was pyramid shaped with flaps and openings. Since the Comanche were nomadic, they needed shelter that was easy to fold up and travel. The Comanche staple food supply came from the buffalo. The men usually hunted the buffalo by driving them off a cliff or stalking them with a bow and arrow. In addition to the buffalo meat, the Comanches ate rabbit, fish, nuts, berries, and wild potato. Beadwork remains a trademark of the Comanche culture. They are used to decorate themselves and their personal belongings. Another art form that the Comanche excels in is silver and copper jewelry making. The Comanche men wore clothes made out of breechcloth, fringed buckskin tunics or shirts, and leggings. Buffalo robes or cloaks were also worn to protect them against the rain and cold weather. The men usually wore their hair in two thick braids, which they sometimes wrapped in fur. The Comanche warriors wore beaded, leathered war bonnets decorated with eagle feathers and beadwork as a symbol of courage and accomplishment. The Comanche women typically wore knee-length dresses and leggings. Like the men, they also wore buffalo robes to stay warm and dry. The Comanche women normally wore their hair loose and sometimes painted the center parts red. On special occasions, they would wear elaborate dresses decorated with beads and painted with signs and symbols that reflected family values. In Comanche folk tales, the coyote is a popular character. To the Comanche, the coyote is a trickster figure. As in many southwestern tribes, he is a clever creature and often helps humans, but is constantly getting into trouble due to the character flaws considered socially unacceptable by the Comanche people. Flaws such as greed, dishonesty, recklessness, and impatience. Now I'm going to read a popular Comanche folk tale called Clever Coyote. Once upon a time, long ago, a monster stole all the buffalo from the plains and put them in his mountain hideout. All for me, roared the monster. Coyote, a wild dog, called all the people and all the animals together in a great meeting to figure out what they could do. No one had an idea. They were all too afraid of the monster to think at all. I scouted the monster, Coyote spoke up. He lives with a very small boy. We cannot hurt a child, said one of the people, not even to get back our buffalo. That is understood, Coyote nodded, but I was thinking, a small boy must be very lonely with no one to love except a horrible monster. I think we should give him a pet to love. When the chance arises, the pet we send can set the buffalo free. All the people and all the animals thought that this was a marvelous idea. First, they sent the mouse to win the heart of the small boy. The boy liked the mouse and took him home, but the monster told the boy to send the mouse away. Next, the people sent killdeer, a bird, but the bird was no better. Coyote called another meeting. I think, Coyote told all the people and the animals, that I must go myself. That very day, Coyote set out for the monster's lair. When the boy saw the coyote, his eyes brightened. The boy loved the coyote immediately and took him home. The monster was angry. Get the mangy dog out of here before I eat you both. The boy and the coyote ran out of the lair. The boy sat down. He tried not to cry, but a tear ran down one cheek. Coyote licked it away. Poor dog, sniffed the boy. I bet you're hungry. Coyote put back his head and howled. That's the sound that the coyote makes to comfort you. The buffalo heard Coyote's cry. It frightened them. They began shuffling and stomping their feet in the way the buffalo do when they are nervous. The more the boy cried and the more the coyote howled to make him feel better, the more frightened the buffalo became. One buffalo began to run. The other buffalo ran after him. They ran until they had scattered all over the plains. Howling angrily, the monster ran after the buffalo. While the monster was gone, Coyote took the small boy to live with the people. The monster hunted and grew more and more angry, but he could not find a single buffalo. The buffalo had scattered without a trace. Late that night, when the monster stomped home to his lair, young warriors were waiting. They killed the monster, much to the relief of one small boy and all the people and all the animals. That is why the elders say it is Coyote to whom we owe the buffalo. Even today, the people still give thanks to clever Coyote. If it hadn't been for the smart head and warm heart of one little dog, that horrible monster would have kept all the buffalo for himself. The end.